Hi there, Chris from TotallyEV, and here doing a dedicated audio review of the Citroen C5X. If you'd like a detailed review of the vehicle itself, do check it up on your pop banner, down the description below, or indeed in the pinned comments. Now to kick off, we have to talk about its audio configuration. And as standard, you've got an 8-speaker setup. You've got woofers that are found within each of the 4 doors, tweeters that are found within the rear doors, and then tweeters that are found within the A-pillars, so therefore totaling to 8. If you go for the Shine Plus model, you will have the option to upgrade the audio system for £500 and therefore allows you to add a subwoofer and a center speaker as well. Now, if you'd like to tinker around with the audio drivers, you'll want to navigate to the appropriate menu on the infotainment system. And here, at least on the model that we have on review, which is the stock system, you'll find an ambiance sound whereby we've left it on natural, and then a 3-band equalizer. We've added 1 notch to treble, 1 notch to mid, and 3 notches to the bass EQ. Then we've left the balance and fader at center. Of course, this very much depends in terms of your own music taste, so do let us know your settings down in the comment section below. Now, for you to connect up to the infotainment system, you have got Bluetooth, although it's quite disappointing to see that only the SBC codec is supported, which is the lowest quality of the bunch. But thankfully, you have got the ability to connect over a wired or wireless connection via Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, therefore furtherly heightening the audio experience. So moving swiftly on, we get onto cabin noise, and here as standard, you'll have an acoustically glazed windscreen. But if you want better acoustic insulation, you might want to go for the Shine Plus trim like we have on review, but it has acoustic glazing both at the front and rear windows. Now the numbers will be on your screen, and these are our own measurements that we recorded within the cabin. What we'll say over here is that it's pretty impressive. It's not as quiet as some other vehicles out there on the market, but nonetheless for a vehicle of its class and indeed its price tag, it's certainly impressive. You just hear a little bit of tyre noise creeping in from the front of the cabin and a little bit of wind deflecting off the top segment of the A-pillars. Now with all of that in mind, let's get on to a sound demo, which we appreciate is not going to be ideal over YouTube, nor is it going to give you a lifelike reproduction, but it'll give you a little bit of a taster. We'll be placing the camera and the microphone in 4 separate locations and playing back Priya J's track, which is titled Like Me. Now indeed, an audio demo over YouTube is never ideal, so let me get onto my subjective opinion. And here, the sub-bass tones are somewhat cut short. Indeed, here we have the stock 8-speaker system on review. Now if we were to go for the upgraded audio system in the Shine Plus model, what you'd find is the subwoofer actually delivers much better low-end prowess, giving you a bit more rumble and emphasis on the low-end tones. As such, it's something that you might want to consider if you're somewhat of a bass head. Thankfully, however, the mid-bass tones are actually done pretty well, both in terms of quantity and quality. Of course, you can EQ it a few notches via the infotainment system like I did, and in this respect will give you a pretty lively and exciting sound. Now this does lead on to the lower mids, and therefore means it's a little bit pushed back and recessed. Of course, here you might think that you could EQ it to the nth degree via the infotainment system, but by doing so, you'll take away from the overall accuracy. As such, I just added 1 notch to the mid EQ in order to try and counteract that sort of mid-bass presence. Now the upper mids on the other hand are pretty impressive, and we've got no real complaints in this department. Similarly, as for the highs, you've got tweeters both at the front and at the rear cabin, and therefore means that the top end presence is actually done pretty well. 1 notch added onto the treble EQ doesn't add too much sibilance or harshness, and therefore can be enjoyable and non-fatiguing to most listeners' ears. Now finally we get onto its soundstage, and here it's actually not too bad. The overall width and depth might sound closed in comparison to more premium systems out there on the market, but given the fact that you do have a stock 8-speaker system, it means that the overall cabin will feel full of sound. Similarly here, the instrument separation is not too bad at the front and rear of the cabin, thanks to the inclusion of dedicated tweeters. Indeed, what we're trying to portray over here is that the stock audio system within the Citroen C5X is pretty impressive, and as a result gets our approved audio award. However, if you're an audiophile, you might want to consider upgrading to the Shine Plus trim and then adding the £500 option in order to bolster the overall instrument separation and width and depth, thanks to the inclusion of a center speaker, and also to improve upon the lower frequencies, whereby the subwoofer will add a bit of extra oomph. Now, I would be intrigued to hear your thoughts of the audio system within the C5X down in the comment section below. And if you've liked this independent detailed review and want to see more from the channel and of course myself, definitely do drop a like, subscribe and hit that bell notification, all of which are greatly appreciated. As such, I've been Chris from TotallyEV and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.